Excellent. Just bear with while I pick up the live. There we are. Good afternoon, Sue. Thank you very much for watching. Oops, Daisy. There we are. Stop that noise. The phone might bing as we go. I haven't turned that off, but that's okay. Right, let's just do a little bit of shenagling. Of course, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Shanagling's a word. No. Oh, it will reach. Good. Goody, goody, gumdrops. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Margaret. Welcome, welcome. So, let's put the brain into gear. It's always helpful to put the brain into gear. Possibly, maybe not. There we are. Let's just get rid of some of this lot. Pop that over there. We didn't do a great job of gessoing them, but hey ho, that will work. And let us just start. So I don't normally do Halloween. I do like pumpkins. I do like autumn. I don't really normally do Gothic, and I don't normally do Poe either. But I saw some beautiful moulds from Decoupage Queen, and there's one in particular that I absolutely just had to have, and I spent more money than I ought to have done to get it into the UK, but it is available from the branch, so if you're struggling, she will ship it to you, and it won't cost the ridiculous amount of money that it costs me. So let's see who I haven't seen come in. Let me see. So I didn't see Carol Mama. Welcome, Adai. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Faith. Hi, Maz. There we are. Who else? Hello, Maria. I hope all is well in Greece. Hopefully. That's everyone. Hello, Michelle, and also Gillian. So that's good. Please feel free to share the video wherever you might want to. Every little bit supports my activity. I don't make anything. I don't wish to make anything from my lives. I just wish my purpose is not to get you to spend pennies either. That might be slightly unfair of me as a centre, but the whole process isn't. So I have just a piece of A4 MDF here, and it needs a layer of white underneath it, and I've sprayed way too much water on it, but that's okay. It's going to help this all sink in. We'll deal with my very thick primer paste, and will lighten the colour quite happily for me. The Pent Up primer paste is very thick. It's beautiful, but sometimes you just need something that will spread more easily. Maybe just don't add quite so much water to it. There we are. Just mix that up, thin it down a bit, get rid of the lumps that are on the surface. It doesn't have to be completely white, because I'm going on with a very, very dark rice paper anyway, but it will help some of the paler areas to pop if I have a white background. So I trust that everyone is well. There we are. Let's just get rid of that. So my preferred mediums are definitely Pent Up, but that's because I've got a very large supply of them. The reality of life is that you could do this with acrylic mediums and primers from any company that you choose to have or have already in. Sorry that for the cackling. Oops dear. Sorry, Faith. I do have several people who describe me as the best enabler for that they know. Linda, are you referring to the primer that I've just used, in which case the answer is no, that is not available from Pentart at the moment. Vasilis has used it at a class in the Netherlands, and also I think at a class in America, but it's not yet to market. So and I think it's probably got a texture to it. Mine hasn't arrived as yet, and much as I'm sure they're going to be gorgeous products, I'm not completely convinced that they are for the general craft market, but time might tell. Sorry, Anthony. Yeah, well, you know, I've enabled you already. I got the moulds, you know, which I happen to know is nicely sitting in your stash already. So let me just get this dry, because I really did add way too much water to here. My computer has a nice circle lurking on it, which is never an inspiring thought process, but my phone looks like it's streaming without any problem. So let's just keep some fingers crossed. Hi Betty, enjoy your daughter's birthday party, my darling, if that's where you're off to. There we are. So I definitely did add quite a lot of water in this, and got an uneven background, and that for me will just add to it. Let me just, if I don't get this dry when I have my decoupage crew, it's going to, you know, it will not help matters. Let me just get this all covered. Hi Kim, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to have quite a lot of drying today, I'm afraid, but hey ho, such is life. And I've got, what you can't see around me is 55 tins of paint and colours that you will probably almost never ever see me use, because I'm not a blacks purple girl. If someone wants to tag Sophie Willis in, we've got her black and purple sparkle on the go today. Oh, I think it's actually one of those moulds that will be incredibly versatile and smooth. There we are. So we've got a sort of layer of white gesso on there, and I'm getting bored with that. But please, if you're doing it yourself, just let it dry properly. Actually, whilst that, let's just shovel that out the way. Let's clean that, and then I can get rid of the white edges on this rice paper, because I don't need them at all. There we are. Let's just wipe that up out the way. You can see where I was working with the black gesso earlier on. So let's just take this. I've got a water brush. I've got a clean pot of water. So let's just soak this down here. And then we can pull off the edges all the way around. So this rice paper is from ITD Designs. Anthony probably has it in his stash, because I think he bought them to Sally Telly a long time ago. But any Halloweeny, mystical, you know, sort of, I don't know, whatever you feel like really will work for this make. It's just a background. I tend to like my backgrounds to vaguely be themed to the embellishments that I'm putting on them. I struggle to make without something to latch my brain onto. Yeah. So but that's just the way my brain works. And if that's, you know, so that's why you've seen me with a very heavily themed rice paper. And actually these have been sitting in my stash for a long time, because it's so heavily themed that I wasn't sure quite what I was going to do with it. So let's just take off that yucky white edge, which I don't want. We're going to cover the edges anyway. It's not going to be big enough to cover my A4 board, because it's an A4 rice paper printed with a 1/2 inch border all the way around it. So that never means that it's a whole set. So there we are, so you can hear that, that's where it's not quite dry, but that's okay, or not quite wet enough when you can hear it tearing, you know. There we are, let's just come around there. So yeah, we have got some purples in here. They're bluey based purples rather than very red based purples, but that will work. Let's get rid of that, pop those scraps of tat into a rubbish bin. There we are, and I have some plans with some ideas that perhaps you haven't seen me do. Well, because I haven't done them before. Nothing like a live to try it out, is there? But I think it will work to link everything together. That is the plan. Yeah, good background papers are really helpful. I think the tendency for us all, Elizabeth, is to buy the pretties, and I'm probably as guilty of that as anyone else, but actually having backgrounds is really helpful. And when I can, I will buy A3 backgrounds because they just offer me so much better coverage, particularly if I'm covering boxes or wanting to make furniture. Yeah, because an A4 really isn't furniture or box sized, is it? So there we are. So we've now got that out of there. Well, it's not quite dry, but hey ho, I'll just give that another bit of a blast. That paper can go. Good evening, Elizabeth, or good afternoon. Actually, for you, it'll be the middle of the morning, won't it? There we are. So hopefully some of that white will have sunk in. Yeah, I did spray it, and that's fine because this is such a dark paper. Let me just get this one. This is my own fault for saturating the MDF piece. But hey ho, there we are. We'll just persevere, and I'm using stuff up. Yeah, that's my mantra at the moment. Yeah. Let's use things up. So I'm using the Pentart Decoupage Varnishing Glue, and I'm using Silky Shine. It could be matte, it could be, probably not the glitter, but definitely could be the matte version. It doesn't have to be this version. There we are. Let's just give that a goodly coating. We're going to coat because we're going to cover our edges, and anyway, so that's okay. And we're going to be framing our piece. So hopefully, because I've got that layer underneath, my glue is not soaking in, and so that's why it was so important to put that on. And let me just pop that vaguely centralized into there, and then we can squash out from the middle. There's nothing like watching a live and someone telling you to squash out from the middle, and then actually they're not doing that. Yeah, which is what I watched this morning. But hey ho, there we are. And I will carry on and flatten these once I've got out all of the air bubbles by doing that from the centre. I will then squash it through, because I like my my brush marks, if any, to all be going in one direction, particularly when if I'm adding extra layers or distressing to things. I'm not intending adding a varnishy distressing layer. We are going to be doing all sorts of layering. We might be here a little while today, but hey ho, hopefully not too long. So there we are. But we do have let's just get that spread out a bit. I can give that no great big clumps there, so properly varnished down, and then if it will allow me to lift stuff off there if I need to. There we are. So let's pop that onto there and pop that onto there. There we are. I'm thinking I can smell something, and it's my glue gun. So we now need to give this a proper dry. Thank you so much, Angela, for tagging all of those people for me. It's much appreciated. You know, far be it for me to turn people away from remains of Zoe Terry, but I'm rather hoping that we can spread the word out that I do live quite often on a Sunday, and we can drive the viewing numbers up a wee bit. I'd happily go live for one person. I don't necessarily need more than one person to go live, but because generally I'd be making anyway. I'm just going to get the edges dry. The inside can dry on its own anyway, because of the layers that we're going to be adding. There we are. But I think it's also quite helpful to be able to show people how to, extend something so that it covers the whole area when your rice paper isn't big enough for the space. And there are, of course, lots and lots and lots of different ways of doing that. And I'm going to use the easiest methods because they're generally quicker for on top of lives. So from there we are. So let me just clear some of this gubbins that I've got lurking all the way around the side. So I'm going to add some hot glue dribbles around the top. But that's not going to help me disguise the bottom. Though I could add some dribbles there. That's not my plan. So this is the primer for the Pentart Crackle Paste. And I'm not mithered if I have it going in and out, because I'm going to use two different types. So I'm using this is will work as a universal primer, and will allow me to add stuff into here, and some of that will get covered and some of it won't, but that's okay. And if it makes it look shiny long term, I shall just varnish over the whole thing. So that's that can sit there and that can dry. So that is the cracking paste primer, but you could be universal primer in there quite happily, and that's one I rescued at a retreat recently. So let me just turn that around and grab a hot glue gun, because this is a technique I haven't done before. So there we are, and I strongly suspect we might need quite a lot of hot glue to get this to work. There we are. Wow, we are going to tank through these today, I think. There we are, but that's fine. And that will need to be, this will be because I've got there we are. So we just bear with whilst we have a little bit of a textured background. Don't really wish to have that. Let's just let this heat gun heat up a little bit, and I might just have to treat myself at some point if I'm going to do this on a frequent basis to a heat gun that might work a little bit better. So I'm just wanting some drips. That's possibly because I've got a low melt hot gun in my hand and a hot melt glue stick. There we are. Let's just do that. Here, and now we just have to let these cool down. I do Aha, you see, I knew I'd put some more out. There we are. And we'll give it all a good dry. Oh, let's just take those out of the way. Hello, Ute. I'm very well, darling, thank you. I'm just having a little bit of a fight with a hot glue gun. I suspect it's my own fault because I've picked up or mixed up my low melt and my hot melt glue sticks in the same pot, and we're getting towards the end of it. So we've got what we've got. There we are. But I'm hoping it's just going to add an extra layer of texture to the top of here. There we are. We'll get there. Patience is a virtue, not one that I exercise brilliantly well. Might be the easier way to do it, and then fill it in afterwards. You see, you learn these things, don't you, by playing. And I know that I can pop this, there's a big blob down there. There we are, thicken that up. Because strips are not all the same, are they? There we are. We'll just add some texture that we'll be able to pick up over time anyway. Right. Yeah. See, lots of people do this. They make it look oh so much easier, but that's okay. Get rid of that trailing lead that we've now got, which we don't want. There we are, that looks better. And we'll carry on. Ooh, yeah, sideways strips, and we might have to adjust it once we turn it round, but to get it to be how I really want it, but that's okay. Right, we're nearly there, ladies and gentlemen. Might suggest that you have a glue gun that doesn't have a precision point. That might make your life a bit easier as well, because mine's definitely got a precision point on it. There we are, let's get rid of that. Oops, she says, I've got little straggly bits. So if you want, and these are 7mm sticks, so you might again be better off with 10mm sticks, or even the bigger, really bigger 12mm ones. But we'll get there. We'll get there. You can always do something with something that is too small, because you can fill in and add in. But if something is very big, then that doesn't necessarily work. I'm with you. I'm thinking it does look rather good. Right, let's just give that Yeah, I rather like that. Right, so before I burn myself, I'm going to turn that off, because we've now completed that a bit of it, and let's just give this a wee bit of a dry. Where I've put the primer, the glue can solidify. I can melt some of these wispy bits, get them out of the way. And then in. There we are. And then we can get the primer dried. I can see it's still quite milky around the edges at the moment, so let's just get this dry. Is anyone going down to the NEC next weekend? There we are. Hopefully that's all okay. There's pretty long lag for me between the what I'm doing and the computer catching up with me. But there we are. That's just a part of life, I think, when it comes to doing lives. Good afternoon, Sarah John. Welcome, my darling. Yeah. Which day are you thinking of going to? The lovely Liz Wheeler and I are intending to be there on the 2nd, because she has a show on Hobby Maker on the 1st, so that we can, because that will work for us. So I'm going to use 2 different crackles, and I'm going to have to order myself some of this. And did I put it on my DT pack that was gone in? I did, heck. There we are. So there we are. So this is the transparent crackle. So that will dry with a shine, which can be a bit of a pain, but hey ho, we'll worry about that. And I'm not going to leave it all like that. There we are. Pick that into where that is. There we are. And we'll just stick a little bit more up there, into there. Should I have done that first? Yeah, but it would have been waiting. So there we are. There we are. Brilliant. Well, just message us, Sue, if you do decide to go. We are staying down in Redditch the night before, following TV. So this is the black cracking paste, which is rather thick, and it won't matter that I'm mixing it. So this is where I said I was going to have the 2 different layers. The thicker you put this on, the thicker the bigger your crackles will be, and it won't matter that I'm mixing it up a bit, because they're both cracking paste, so they'll work reasonably well together. And this will explain why I'm doing the 2 different things. So I'm just mixing it. I don't need a huge, great big thick layer. I can always paint around the edge of the board black anyway. There we are. So that's given that a reasonable amount. Let's just take this around the rest of it. I think I might have plunked some back in here from when I was at the class, because it's a bit gunky and a bit thick, but hey ho, that will also not be a problem. I know it was a new pot at the class. There we are. There we are. Let's just clean that down. We'll have more irregularly that, so it's not all the same. There we are. Cool. Oh, let's turn that round. And then we can add some of this into here. So we're going to have a mix of two different crackles, some clear, some not clear, and we're going to scatter them around, and we'll never be able to tell where the rice paper actually ends and where it, so that it's all about deceiving the eye is this process. There we are. Variable thicknesses will work quite nicely. So let me I'm just going to give that. I think Facebook is misbehaving at the moment. Joan, all I've done so far, my darling, is prime an MDF board, pop down an ITD rice paper, then added some gluey bits at the top with a hot glue gun, and I've just added some transparent, I know it's milky at the moment, and black cracking paste. There we are. So nothing uberly complicated there. So let's just give some of this. I'm just going to dry the top of it because I want to paint the black, the glue at the top, and that's going to be easier if I don't have so much wet up at the top. And the rest I'll pop aside to dry naturally whilst we paint some more moulds. And I do have a plan for filling in the cracks. After we've painted the other bits and pieces. But there we are. So I'm just going to need to turn that round because I'm going to need to be a little bit more specific down at the bottom of here with my gesso. So glue doesn't take immediate paints on its surface very well. I'm just going to add some black gesso now onto these glued areas, so that it all works in ultimately with my finished piece. There we are. I do have a stencil, but I'm debating whether I'm going to add. I might add some stenciling. Oh, she says, flipping glue strands everywhere, and that is the bugbear, I think, of using hot glue. But you could do this, this texture quite happily, I think, with heavy body gel, but it would tend to sink back, and that may be not the look that you're wanting, and I think that it would just take ages to dry, so not terribly helpful for on a live. I will need to turn that round later on to have a look. There we are. I am trying not to leave white, but also to the murkiness of the glue. But I don't want big blobs of black equally on my frame. So hence that I'm being a little bit more careful than you might normally see, but when I'm doing this, and it's one of the reasons why I tend not to do things that require delicate painting. So, yeah, when I'm on a live, but this I think is going to work quite effectively for just covering that gap. So I'm disguising my edges of the pieces by at the bottom using my black crackle paste, because I thought that sort of had a dark feel to it, and then at the top with drips, just for some extra texture. If that makes sense to everyone. Might not, does make sense in my brain, but then we all know my brain is quite a dangerous place to be. Don't worry, dearie, don't worry. We cannot do everything in this world. It is simply not possible. Lives are there to be rewatched. They go live in my events page, so you can always find them under events. That's not a problem. If you're struggling to find one, if you tell me what it is, I can always find it under the events that I've done on my page and tag you in it. That's never a problem. There we are. And I go live from an event on my page, just because it is easier for me to find it. If I just went live straight from my page, sometimes that might be easier for people to find when I go live, but it's not so easy then for catch up, if that makes sense. So you learn to work with the system that works for you. And Facebook works for me. Might not work for everyone, but it does for me. So hey ho. And as these lives are all done in my own time on a Sunday, it just allows me to do what I want to do, which is even better, and hopefully inspire people along the way. But if I don't, I can always move over and do something different, because I have a feeling that Facebook is going to get a bit flooded with lives from every available junction possible. But hey ho, there we are. Not bad, not bad. Let me just spin that round without contaminating everything. That was a good move, wasn't it? So let me just tuck into there and pick up the bits that I haven't managed to catch, or at least some of them. And if that means I have a halo, well, that also won't matter. I think a halo would in this instance be better than white where I don't want it. There we are. That will do. Cool. Yeah, she says. Let's pop that out of the way. Pop that over there. Let's leave that. Not so difficult, Suri. This top piece here is literally hot glue. There they are. That I've squished down onto an ITD rice paper that's decoupage in place, and the white is currently transparent. Excuse me, cracking paste. Yeah, I think it's worked quite well. So let's just pop that out of harm's way. We can give it a, she says, having cleaned her fingers and then plunked it in everything. So there we are. So let's have a look at these. We've got Orsat. All of these come from Zuri moulds, from Decoupage Queen moulds, except the key. And we've got every single metallic colour known to man out in front of me. I don't very often use metallics, those of you know me well will know that that doesn't happen. That says it is sparkling green. That is for the leaves. Graphite, Rococo silver, black silver, and sparkling gold. So let us see, and we've got a nice plummy colour there. So let's just grab a brush. So we got the, I'm going to go with the graphite. Oh, level 3 all of the time, Ansley. So this is a metallic paint, so it has a shine, which will cause me the inevitable headaches, I'm sure. So let's just pop this onto here. I'm not going for stone effects today. You could just as easily paint this mould with an ivory colour, add some little bit of stony texture into it with the 3D powders if you wanted to. That would work. But we're going for a dark theme. Maybe that's a mistake. It's not something you'll see me do very often. Just seemed appropriate for the time of the year. And these were white resin that I've primed with black gesso. So there we are, white resin primed with black gesso. There we are. So let's just cover that all up. Get into the nooks and the crannies. I know I missed some of the nooks and the crannies when I was priming, because it's inevitable. There we are. Let's just try not to have too much. And again, you won't. Metallics are not paints that you see me use an awful lot of. But that's fine. There's a time and a place for everything. And there we are. And whoever said to me, just paint around the edge of the moulds first, you'll get less messy, might be right, but it doesn't seem to work for me. I always end up going messy. So I can see quite clearly my graphite is different to the black, and that's cool. This mould is just stunning. And as I say, I think LeBlanche has them. She ships, I've only ever ordered directly from her once, but ever the efficient German shipping. It was sent out the day I ordered it and arrived, I think came by lorry rather than being flown in, but came the following week. So maybe less, under a week from ordering from Germany to getting to me on my craft desk when I ordered from her. So for those of you that are missing your LeBlanche fixes, you don't need to wait to, no idea what she's going to do or what she isn't going to do, but you will be able to get these. And they say they're Decoupage Queen moulds, and the alternative is to find a friend and get them shipped in to you. There we are. Okay, so that can sit there as metallic black. Do I want that on the... Now I'm going to do the bird in the same, but I know I'm going to sit him on it, but that won't be a problem because we're going to add some other colours to our bird. So let's just give him a black underline coat, and then we can, let's get rid of that piece of white that's on there, so it just adds that. There we are. I think that's probably then got rid of that, and then we can give that a wash. And let's just pick up another paintbrush. So the crow, the books, and these two come in another mould also from Decoupage Queen. So I'm going to go, I know, controversial, because it's not, because it's not black, but hey ho, we don't want it all to be. And let's just go for a smaller brush. So I have primed the candle bit with white gesso, and then I have added black gesso to the bottom. There we are. So we might be here a little while today. Maybe not. I don't think we'll be here the hours we were last time I did a live, which really did go on and on and on, but it was a very different project. So I tend to put black underneath my metallic paints when I am adding them. I just think you get better coverage when you do that, and a better depth of colour, but you do you. If you're happy with not using black underneath, then don't put the black underneath. But for me it definitely does work. There we are. I don't think you will be getting any orders from CNC. And ladies, please remember, if you ordered from thinking it was from a company but via CNC's website, your contract is actually with CNC, not with the supplier. And I know a lot of them have gone out at risk, but I think some of the bigger companies probably won't, and those that are abroad might not know all of the shenanigans that are going on, which is a great pity, but it is what it is. And we can mope and we can be sad, or we can make the best of it. So I've chosen to make the best of it. I will continue doing me, because that's what makes me happy. And you know, if we want products, we can always go direct to companies, though I have to say that if we don't support the other TV channel, yeah, I get the frustrations, then they won't exist either. So we pay our money, takes our choices. If you want entertainment, it has to be paid for one way or the other. There we are. So this is a key. Now my daughter doesn't think it needs a key, so when we get to the stage of putting it on, you can tell me whether you like it or not. But I'm going to cover it anyway, because when I said I did like it to her, she said, well, it's your project, and that'd be true. But sometimes when you have an idea in your head, having some external views is also very good. I don't think I can cope with going live more frequently than I do at the moment, but that I might change that. We'll see. Right. Do I want them? Excellent. So let's just lid that gold. It's antique gold, so it's not intended to be a bright white gold. Now then, what have we got for the leaves? Because we've got some leaves here. Yeah. Excuse the sniffles. Again, you don't see me using this lot that very often. So we've got golden red, and golden Well, it says Golden Touch. It's green. It's green. Definitely green, but it does have a gold undertone. So let's just randomly add and the red and the gold will make a murky brown, and that's also just fine. We're happy with that. And I know I'm being naughty by double lipping into there, but hey ho, there we are. Thank you, dearie. Sometimes it's difficult to know, because I picked Sunday thinking, well, Sunday would be good. I don't do very much else on a Sunday. I don't go to Aqua, I don't do this, and then I quite often end up in Sally Telly land on a Sunday nowadays, either because I'm on myself or because I've gone down to support someone else. So it's difficult, isn't it? Do we think we have enough lives in the week with all of them? Do we fancy an afternoon live in the middle of the week? I'm not going to compete with crafting together with all Brands times, because that just so wouldn't be fair. And I don't particularly want to compete with or help anyone's business. There we are. There we are. So we've just got some colour variation in those, just so it isn't all completely a blacks project, because the Poe Crow is definitely a black, isn't it? There we are. And then we're going to use a colour that I think you never ever ever see me use, and Sophie's not even watching. Hey, so there we are. Look at the state of my hands. Those need some cream adding for the candles, but they need to dry first. So let's just take our books and we have brown. I know, it's not a word that comes out of my head. We've got dark silver. That's definitely got a purple undertone. See, yeah, that's definitely got a silver tone. That's a delicate. No, it's a glamour. There we are. That's a silver. I'm sure I had another purple out, but maybe I didn't have another purple out. So let's just let's get rid of that because it's yucky. That'll be my own fault, won't it? So let's just add some purple. That violet is rather lush. We will change and we will add in some other colours. We're not going to have them every book the same, but if we get an undercoat down, and then I can swap to a smaller brush. I don't want to add in reds and colours at this point because I've got the reddy brown, the reddy gold in that piece already. There we are. Let's just cover that. But we do have a plan, because you wouldn't really stick a whole collection of the books all together. But I'm not. I don't think I'm going to. I might add some ivory into those book pages when I've got this. Given this lot a blast dry. But in the meantime, let's just take some of this antique silver It does definitely looks more silver on there. Let's just add that into there. I think that looks quite nice. Let's do these differently. There we are. Okay, so let's just pop that onto there. Pop that onto there. Let's get this on the right way then, won't we? Let's just pop that, which is the glamour. Yeah, no, you don't see me use purple, but I just felt it would work. Yeah, dark silver. Well, it's definitely in a purplish base. There we are, and that's metallic violet. So let's just get rid of that. Let's just give these a wee bit of the blast. Yeah. Cobalt blue, isn't it? I thought I have a blue called sparkling blue, but can I see it on my dress? No. That's green gold. That's gold. That's dark silver. That's an ordinary silver. And that's an ordinary silver. Excellent. Here we are. So whilst those continue to dry a little bit, she says, let's just find another reasonably nice brush, she says, because they're all looking a bit manky. I think it's time for a good brush sort out from the looks of things. And then we're going to go with not a chance, Anthony, ivory, because candles are not white, are they? Beeswax certainly isn't, so let's just add in some ivory onto there. Just soften that colour down. There we are. Drippy candles. To go with drippy nose, I do apologise. It's not very nice hearing people snuffling, is it? So I absolutely apologise for that. Okay. Ick. Right, let's definitely pick up a small brush. There we are. The purple isn't completely dry, and that's fine because it's softening this ivory and making it a little bit less clean. which is definitely giving me a preferable look in my head for these book pages. Okay, yeah. Or like a lot. Ooh, she says. There we are. So those definitely look a little bit better. And I could have painted them all the colours of the rainbow, but I didn't really want to be adding masses and masses. Oops, she says, let's take that off there. Right. Now the problem with the metallic paints is they're quite often sticky for a long time afterwards. Let's just give these all another bit of a blast, and then let's add some detail in for our crow. Okay, so we might use that one actually. Right, where is my black gold? Because this is what happens when you have too much stuff on the side, isn't it? Aha, there is my black gold. So this is gold in a black base, so let's just give that little beak. And those feet, a subtlety of gold. And are blackbirds, crows, really black? Well, I don't know. This one is sparkling green. Because somewhere along the line the sparkling blue seems to have been finished, but that's also okay. Right, let's just... Oh, she says, throwing the brushes on the floor. Don't want that, I want a flat. I do want a flat. So there we are, sparkling green. It's got a bluey green undertone. It's definitely a dark colour. Let me wipe that into there, and then we're going to just change that very flat bird so it isn't all the same colour. So I can see it. There we are. Cool. So it just subtle shades. Yeah, a blue back would work very well, wouldn't it? But actually that has added quite nicely into there. Right, let me just wipe that down, because it's going to sit on my composition. He's going to sit there. I'm wanting to add some extra detail into here, and I am going to pick up, I think, the white gold wax. It's a chameleon wax. It's just softer than softer colour than the gold, if that makes sense. So it's a, there we are, and now it almost looks like it's metal. If I lift that out, you can then see and they say that is the white gold chameleon, so that will work there. And this is when having lots of products really does make a big difference. So there we are, and then he will sit on there and will work really, really well together. Okay. Close your eyes, Anthony. I've got umber out. Right, let me pick up some of that, because so this is literally just some white spirit. There we go. We'll stick a bit of that onto there. It's just going to help thin it down, because clearly the paint, the pot that I've got this in, there we are. That's better. Yeah, brown has a place. Limited. Definitely not for every project. But sometimes it just is the right thing to do. See, that now looks like it's been left and got dirty over the years. So this is when having lots of products really does make a difference, because I can mix and match, and the umber always, always, always lives on my desk. In an ideal world I would varnish these, but we're not living in an ideal world. Right. This is just gold wax. There we are. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear, I do apologise. Not much you can do about that, is there? Right, excellent. So I think they now all work together. Have you not seen that one, Zuri? It's a technique I use loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. Right, let's clear some of this 3 tons of junk out of the way, because without moving it too much about, there we are. Let's just, right. Yeah. Glitter? Where did that come from? I never use glitter. So back to our base, because we're going to need some extra bits and pieces out. So this needs to dry properly now. So if I lift that up and add a heat gun, I can see it tapping. I don't know whether some areas you will be able to see, I think. Get rid of that white. It will, as it dries, go completely transparent anyway. Don't particularly want to overheat my hot glue, because hot glue melts, as we all know, because that's how it came out of there in the first place. Beginning to crack all the way around. Yeah, I've got some clear crackle. That will be harder to see where the white splodges are at the moment. That's where the clear crackle is, and that needs to go transparent before I do, and it'll have much finer crackles in it. So you just need to just be patient. I know, be patient. That in its own right doesn't happen, does it? There we are. Thank you, Blanche. Much appreciated, my darling. We will get there. Honestly, we will. So whilst we're all waiting for paint to dry, because it's a bit like watching pots dry, when you want it to dry quickly, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't, you know, that's just life, isn't it? Tell you what, whilst that has a cool down, let us just take this, which is sparkling silver. So this looks white in the pot, but it is just absolutely beautiful. And these are products that I don't get out very often, because to me they have, you know, rolls at different times of the year. So the sparkling silver works brilliantly at Christmas, as does the sparkling gold, but I don't tend to use them because they work better on a black base. to me they're less used than lots of my other products are. So you can see all of the texture now that I've got in here from my glue gun. Easy to add, much harder to remove. So that's now got a little bit more just detail. We might mix in a bit more into there. We might add in some touches of the gold of the gold into there as well. There we are. So it's not just completely one colour. It's definitely softer than, there we are, quite like that. Good at it. Right. We're not quite completely dry, but hey ho, big fluffy brush required. Is that a fluffy brush? Oh, that'll do as a fluffy brush. So I know that I've got lots of crackle into here. So let me just add some of this mica into some of these areas. The rest of it should be dry, so I should be able to give it all a good polish in a minute. We'll have stuck onto some of that silver. That's fine, because I can wipe them right back. It will stick in, but it's just going to add an eeriness. Come on, there we are. And because I have varnished my rice paper, there we are. So that it just adds. I might need to come back off the live ultimately. I might not, but there we are. So we've got crackle around the edges. We've got a little bit of a hue of the purple mica. Deliberately not filling those edges. It'll get a little bit. There we are. So we've got some crackle. There we are. Some of it will fill, some of it won't, but that's okay. There we are. Let's just get rid of that, and I can come back and add in more as I want to. But I've just got, and have I used a lot of products? Yeah, I have actually. I'm not going to hide from that, because I have absolutely used a whole ton of products onto here. There we are. So let me get this just where I want it. There we are. Okay, let's grab there we are. Some heavy body gel. It's definitely got a very, very eerie feel. So the bird that's on the paper is now sitting on my stack of books, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Thank you, Anthony. I had a plan. Well, it's nice when a plan comes together, isn't it? Because they don't always. You're reasonably good at getting plans to come together. But you never quite know, do you? Until you try something. There we are. Okay. Okay. Let's just get rid of that white gel medium. because although it will dry matte, it will dry white, so it will show. Okie-dokie. This might prove somewhat of a challenge, but hey ho, I'm up for it. So that's going to sit there. Okay. Now then, what are you going to do with this little lot? I hear you all asking. Thank you. It certainly has added a real ethereal feel to it, hasn't it? So I'm going to pop one of the... Oh, why did I shut that? Because I'm a wally, clearly. Right, I won't. She says, throwing heavy body gel where she doesn't want it. Hey ho, so be life. Let's just clean up the mess. But that's okay. We'll take a bit more of that in a minute. Thank you, Margaret. It's much appreciated. I do try to have my plans come together. I don't think everything always works quite how I've imagined it in my head, but this one's actually coming together reasonably in the way that I thought it. It's definitely, I think, so that's just going to sit underneath there. Okay, and that is going to sit there. Okay, so I'm wanting to add, I didn't want it all to be completely, so that can sit into there, and that one can sit there. He's going to sit into there. Just get rid of that because I can see white there and a big blob of white there, and I know what I didn't do when I had my umbre out, so just bear with. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. See, the more you wobble it around, the bigger a mess, yeah. They are so worth having, Blanche. If you can get them, my darling, they are absolutely, totally and utterly worth it. They're just stunning. And I definitely think I have a, you know, very, very dark, mysterious, ethereal piece here that is just, you see, what did I put the, oh no, I didn't put that brush into there. Right, right, that's all claggy. It isn't the brush I used earlier, which I can't see, so let's just pop a bit more of that white spirit onto there. Just as well I work in a conservatory, isn't it? And it's not too claggy. There we are. Right, that shovel that back into there before we get it in. Blanche, those moulds I did not get easily. They were far from easy. They've had to be shipped to me from America. Anthony, close your eyes, because I haven't charged you what I ended up paying in shipping because I didn't want to. But they cost, yeah, the moulds themselves were cheap enough. Let's just say they're probably the most expensive moulds I will ever buy. So the next question. So, but Terry could send them to you. She's got them, I think, in Crafting Canaries. Or Walls and More, Rima Bashira might be able to send them to you. She should have them. And failing that, my good friend Miriam might be able to do some castings for you and send you the castings, and she's out in the States. So I got a friend to send them to me, my darling. I didn't buy them directly from Decoupage Queen. So now at this point we could call this done, but I felt it needed just something extra on here. So I lift this up with the key. The light's going in here, I'm afraid. Or without the key. With or without? What do we reckon? With the key. So there, Laurie, or there, Laurie. So 1 or 2. Thank you. 1. Okie dokie, we have a decision. I mean, I agree. I think it just finishes it off nicely. Hey, universally, we've gone for 1. There we are. So, thank you very much for sticking with me this afternoon. I definitely have a piece that is very different for me. I get that it's not my normal piece at all. I'm liking the subtlety. Sounds like I'm in the optician's, oh dear. Of the greeny against the white gold and the darkness of this piece, and I'm hoping that that everyone is well. Thank you so much, Laurie. I'm so pleased. As I say, it's a bit out of my comfort because I don't really do dark and grungy. My piece for Pentar for next week is prepped. They really don't have Halloween or Gothic or even Poe inspired papers, but I have hunted out the Fortune collection, so we're going to do something alternative, as that will be my last live before Halloween, and I suspect following that we will be moving definitely forward to looking at Christmas thing. Not your cup of tea. Thank you. Well, I sometimes think you just have to sometimes do things that are a little bit different, and push yourself to create something that is different. And I have to say that the shimmer on this is beautiful. All of that layering, all of the colours have really added to build. If I move it, So I will be live on Tuesday for Pentart. I'm at the NEC with friends on Saturday the 2nd, and hopefully we'll be back home and doing my live again next Sunday. We might well be moving away from, I might do something with one or two of the new collections before, rather than going into full on Christmas mode. Anyway, please remember to look after each other, to stay safe, and above all to be kind. In a world where life is very different, we can surely all manage to be good to ourselves and to support everyone in what we're doing. So ta-da for now, and I will see you on a live stream fairly soon. Bye.